Right, today we got another little dyno project going on. So we're pretty much up and running now, which just leaves all the little finishing touches to do, one of which is to build a cover to go over the top of the retarder down this end of the dyno. Sadly, we kind of don't have this cover. It's obviously gone missing at some point in this dyno's life. I did actually look online at the company that used to have it, and the cover was with it when they had it, so yeah, it was with it not up till very recently, but I don't know where that went, but we didn't end up with it anyway, so we're going to have to make something to go on this end of the unit. So I'm just going to cut my own frame and weld up our own sort of cover to go down here. Haven't quite decided what I'm going to do yet, but I would imagine it's going to be level at the back, and then just rise up a bit this end, obviously because to get clearance over the brake. I also want to put some vents in the top end over here, and possibly even a fan, because there's a tremendous amount of heat generated on the retarder when it's in use. Right, cutting the lengths of steel now. So I need two 35s and two 34s, 45-degree angles on the ends, and then we'll get that welded up. That will then form the frame around the outside, from which will support everything else. Right, so I just cut those 4 lengths of angle iron there to go around the outside. So we just cut 45-degree angles on each end. So I'll weld them together now into a box, and that will basically form a frame that will sit down inside that hole. Obviously this cover I want to be able to just lift off. It's not going to be something that's permanently mounted, because you want to be able to get that off to grease and service, etc., and just generally look over the dyno now and again. So this frame will kind of form the outer lip that sits inside there, and then the rest will be welded to this. Right, finished welding this up now, so I'm just going to grind all the welds back flush so that it sits flush in the hole, and when I put the sheet steel on, it will sit down flush. The more observant of you will probably notice that there's a patch welded in each side. That's because I made a cock up with the measurements. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but I was an inch short on all 4 sides. I think what happened was I measured the inside of the hole, forgetting that I needed it to overlap. So they're all welded in, so I'm just going to grind these back now. Right, I've finished the outside frame there now, so hopefully that will then drop in side here. Like that. So that will be what then supports it. So now the next thing is to cut some steel to box in a frame. I'm probably going to put some box supports in as well, just so that you can safely stand on it when it's finished without it bending.
fabrications on here.
Right, welded in 2 crossbars now. So that's on the piece over the end where the brake isn't in the way, so that'll just be level. So those 2 bars should enable you to be able to stand on this without it bending. Not that people should be walking on it, but if they do, at least it won't bend. So the next piece over here needs to be lifted up to cover the brake. So that's pretty much what it's going to look like. I've just literally tacked that in all the corners, etc. It's getting quite heavy now, so it's kind of in keeping with the rest of the dyno. So I'll probably have to put some handles on the side of it to make it a bit easier to remove, but now that I'm sort of pretty happy with how it's looking, we've got some nice clearance underneath around the brake, so I'm going to seam weld that all around now to tidy it up. And then we're going to look at making some holes in the top to fit some fans for cooling. Okay, so we're just welding this up now. Seems a little bit unnecessary running great beads along everything, but if I don't, it will vibrate, and I don't want stuff vibrating, so we'll just weld it all the way along for the hell of it. Right, we've just seam welded that right the way through. I've welded right up around the outside and right down through there. So now I need to put it on its end and weld the top seams. Right, I got the cover on the floor here now. So I'm going to make 2 circular holes in the top here to basically allow airflow into the fans that I'm going to mount on the top to try and pull the heat up out of the bottom of the pit where the brake is. Just so happens that a brake disc is exactly the right size for these fans, so that's going to work out quite nicely. I'm going to use the plasma cutter just to do this quickly. I have got an extremely worn tip in the end here at the moment, but hopefully I'll be able to just keep it going for this job. I don't really want to have to change it now because I've got some abuse planned. Right, not the prettiest job, but satisfactory for what it's doing. And there we have it. That's going to be the cover. So you can see I've made 2 holes in the top for the 2 fans. I've sort of just cleaned it all up, so we're going to paint it now, let the paint go off, and then we can get the 2 fans fitted and then drop it into place. So the cover's on there now. Just had a lick of paint. You see I've got the 2 fans just bolted to the top. They're not wired in yet, they're just sitting there. So that's pretty much how that's going to sit. Looking a bit shiny compared to the rest of it because the rest of it's been painted now for a little while. So that pretty much is finished. I've just got a bit more stuff to do. There's me just tripping over the new strap down point, which I'm not used to being there yet. I've still got a few things to do to the sort of computer, etc. I need to mount a second screen on the side and basically just sort out the wiring that goes between it and the wall to try and restrict that down so we can move it around easily. But otherwise we got up and running.